Welcome to St. Marcus Lutheran School. I'm April Richter and the principal at the North Campus. Last year I got to travel with some of our 5th grade scholars on the Discover Wisconsin trip. We spent 6 days traveling around the state, visiting different destinations like Lambeau Field. And when you get on Lambeau Field, you take a selfie. So this is me on Lambeau Field on that trip. I'd like to introduce you to our administrative team and your support system. This is Mr. Vinson. He's our Director of Operations. He does so much for us. He's such a blessing. You'll see him during morning drop-off. You'll see him at dismissal, keeping families, students, and grown-ups safe while they're picking up our kiddos after a full day of learning. Mrs. Gunther is our K-3 Program Director. Mrs. Rouse is our Academic Dean. Ms. Aderman is our Student Services Coordinator. Our St. Marcus mission statement is to disciple children for Christ now and for all eternity, and to train them in excellence for their roles in their family, church, community, workplace, and country. Unlike most mission statements, which have one purpose, our mission is twofold. Our top priority is to disciple children for Christ. I tell our students that they are kingdom workers. Our students will learn and understand that Jesus is their Savior. They will get daily instruction in the Word of God from the Bible. Our students also understand that when they know about God's amazing grace, we can't just keep His love to ourselves. We have to pass that message on. We are commanded to go and make disciples, no matter what age we are. The second purpose of our mission is to train our children in excellence for their future roles as leaders in the family, church, community, workplace, and country. We want you to know that we don't settle for mediocre. We believe that God created your children in His image with a purpose, and we are committed to developing their gifts and talents so that they can use them to glorify Him. So now you may be wondering, well, how do you do that? At St. Marcus, our core values drive our goals, which support our mission. Our first core value is Christ first. Each core value is grounded in a Bible verse. For Christ first, the verse we chose is, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." At St. Marcus, we put Christ first, others second, and ourselves third in all aspects of our life. Our second core value is biblical discipleship. Here's the Bible verse that goes with this value. "Then He said to them all, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me.'" Luke 9, verse 23. At St. Marcus, we daily invest in our own spiritual growth and minister to the spiritual growth of others. Our third core value is sacrificial love. From 1 John 3:16, we read, "This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down His life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters." At St. Marcus, our love for others is unconditional and comes with personal cost. Finally, our last core value is radical expectation. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, from Colossians 3, verse 23. Like I just stated, at St. Marcus, we hold ourselves and each other to a standard of excellence in everything we do. So why radical expectation? It's to help us achieve our core values and the second part of our mission statement, excellence. There are 4 pieces or parts of the student covenant that you were asked to sign at your home visit that we track and give feedback on. Those 4 parts are attendance, uniforms, homework, and behavior. At St. Marcus, we track attendance daily. We ask that you call in by 9 a.m. any day your child will not be present for his or her learning. And we also ask that you avoid early pickup. We understand that family emergencies come up and you may need to make the occasional appointment. However, we prevent early pickups that may distract or disrupt the learning, and if possible, schedule appointments during our 5 breaks throughout the school year. If a student is not in his or her desk by 8 o'clock, ready to learn, they are considered late or not ready for the school day. If a child is here late or tardy not ready, you will receive a note home letting you, the parent, know of this instance. We understand that life happens, and so we allow for 4 tardies each quarter. A tardy not ready is a little different than a tardy late. We track those starting in 2nd grade. If a student is dropped off and decides to hang out in the bathroom or dilly-dally while unpacking their homework folder and getting ready for the start of the day, then they'll get a tardy not ready, which means they were here, but they just weren't ready in the classroom. At St. Marcus, we wear uniforms to eliminate the distractions, to present a neat and clean scholarly appearance. And again, we'll communicate if there's a part of the uniform that isn't up to standard. One big change this year is that students can wear all black sneakers or tennis shoes. The laces, the sole, and any graphic design needs to also be completely black. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. It's important that students get to practice their learning. Our Green Bay Packers or Milwaukee Bucks just wouldn't show up for one of their competitions or games without having had a practice, and that's what homework does for our students. So at St. Marcus, we complete daily homework. If you want to be good at something, you need to practice, practice, practice. We also share different phrases and messages that talk about students' potential, the way that God made them to use their gifts and talents, and to have a growth mindset. Failure helps us learn from our mistakes, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. If you or your scholar has any questions about any homework assignment, they can always reach out to their classroom teacher with the numbers they've provided you with. And at St. Marcus, we are respectable learners. There are routines and procedures that teachers have set up for their classrooms this year so that we can make the most out of every learning minute. You'll get feedback on their progress and learning outcomes, either through monthly progress reports or at the end of each quarter when we have our parent-teacher conferences. At those times, we also celebrate the hard work that you and your children do as they work towards their achievements. We have quarterly awards ceremonies where students can be recognized for perfect attendance, perfect homework, and then also some goals and incentives that Mrs. Holt sets up for learners in our learning lab. We can't do any of this without you. With Christ at the center of our partnership between the parent, the teacher, and the student, we can achieve great things. All of this need-to-know information that I just mentioned is in the Parent Handbook. Please read it and ask any questions. There are also addendums by team level. So if you haven't received a kindergarten, primary, or middle school addendum to accompany your parent handbook, let us know and we'll provide one for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about our academic goals. Our big goal for the school year is to reach 45% proficiency on the forward exam in both reading and math by the year 2020. So Mrs. Johnson, who is the principal at the main campus, and I set this goal 3 years ago. We have several indicators that help us know whether or not we are working towards achieving this goal. If we reach it next year when we take the state exam, we will outperform students in the state of Wisconsin who have tested proficient and advanced on the state forward exam. We're moving in the right direction, but we have work to do. These are our results from the 2019 forward exam. The state results and the results for MPS, or the Milwaukee Public School System, are actually from 2018. Our own school results were released to us, but the ones for the state and the district won't be released until November. You'll see that the percentages for the state are just under 45%, which is why we set that number of 45 as our targeted percentage. We cannot move the needle. We cannot do this work without you. Here are some ways that you can help support your scholar during their learning. Ensure your children are at school and on time to receive the instruction in the classroom from the teachers. Limit and monitor recreational technology use. Ensure healthy sleeping habits. And communicate with your child's teacher. We are here to help. One of the easiest and best habits to create is reading at home. This slide illustrates how reading at home just 20 minutes a day can improve your child's learning endurance and improve test scores. We often say with our kids, you gotta read, baby, read. Next, I'd like you to meet Andrea and Tanya. They work in the business office and will help you when you need to pay a bill or have an account inquiry. They'll help if you need to update your contact information. We like to keep that current on our rosters. In February, it will be time to re-enroll again. Every student has to re-enroll every year, so they help with that process. And if you have any paperwork to turn in, like the lunch paperwork, since our students receive free breakfast and lunch, that's where you would go to submit that. Mr. Tyson would like to say, it's important to stay on top of your school bill. You can avoid extra charges by picking up your students on time. Unpaid bills and excessive late charges, unfortunately, can result in certain privileges being suspended, like the use of aftercare, like participating in athletics or special programs, or even participating in graduation in 8th grade. I'd also like to introduce you to 3 individuals that help out around our campus as well. In the picture on the left is Ron and Bon Kelly. Ron is a pastoral assistant. He will be with us at the North Campus this year to lead chapels, to pray with us, and to pray with you. If you have any spiritual needs, please don't hesitate to reach out to Mr. Kelly. Bon is the chair of our community council here at St. Marcus. And Mo, pictured on the right, is our coordinator of community development. You'll see certain events that she plans where you can take classes on financial literacy, work towards purchasing a home, or doing meet and greets with other school families. What does this mean for you? There are a variety of plans, events that support our families who are working towards their goals. As I just mentioned, that includes getting on the pathway to homeownership, receiving financial coaching, even partner organizations coming in to assist with business startups and or growing your existing businesses. Some of the other fun family events that I mentioned are prayer breakfasts, the community trunk or treat around Halloween, a Thanksgiving meal. There are school dances and also cleanup efforts done each spring. If you have a student in 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th grade, they can participate in St. Marcus Athletics. There are 4 components to eligibility for our student athletes. You can take a moment to read them on the screen. I'll briefly highlight each one. Students must maintain a 2.0 grade point average in order to participate in sports. Since we focus on our core values and our actions as Christians, behavior is also an eligibility factor. Players are ineligible if they are out of school suspended, on status, or exhibit any additional extraordinary behaviors that may warrant ineligibility. Scholars must also be present at school the day of any game or competition, and parents must have a zero balance in order for students to participate in sports or have a business office payment plan. Uniforms for sports will be distributed by the athletic director and coaches prior to the first game of the season. Students are responsible for caring for their uniform and or responsible for the replacement costs if the uniform is damaged or lost. Most of the information for our athletic program can be found on the St. Marcus website. You'll see it below. Go to www.stmarcus.org/athletics. Here's a checklist for things that need to be done before a student can participate. There is usually a mandatory parent meeting where important information is shared before the start of an athletic season. Parents must register their student online and complete a participation waiver, and if necessary, make payments with the business office. Students need to stay eligible. If you have any questions, you can reach out to our athletic director, Seth Cook. His contact info is seth.cook@stmarcus.org. Go Mustang! Here's how you can stay connected. You can sign up for our St. Marcus newsletter that's emailed every Wednesday. And you can sign up for that newsletter by visiting the parent room on our St. Marcus website. You can also sign up and take advantage of our text messaging service. Just send Y or yes to 67587. I'll give you a minute to do that. Texts might be sent out as reminders when students get to sing in church on Sunday, or if there's inclement weather and we need to do an inside dismissal. Thank you for taking the time to preview this video, and we look forward to meeting you and having a successful school year at the North Campus. God's blessing.